Question: is this really the instant coffee with Jan show? Wait, but I see Jan. I thought she was radio style on that show. Back in a minute. Hi, this is Jan from New York City. My channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. Welcome to the Instant Coffee with Jan show. If you paid more than $1 for a cup of coffee, you paid way too much. I just happened to literally finish my cup of instant coffee, which cost me a whopping, 10 cents? Hello. Boy, oh boy, a whole dime. Imagine that includes the powdered creamer. So I'll go on with the show with, ta-da, my water. And I got that on sale. So there you go. How's everybody doing today? You're probably wondering, what on planet Earth is Janet doing on camera in front of me on her so-called audio show? Well, this show is going to represent change. I want to talk about being open, being flexible, being creative, and being ready to change. And what on planet Earth does this have to do with the price of fish? Or, more importantly, what does this on planet Earth have to do with saving money? I say an awful lot. You know, sometimes we just get so set in our ways, so comfortably placed in our own self-created rut, so to speak, that we don't make change. And sometimes that stunts our growth in many ways, whether it's professionally, whether it's creating a savings goal, whether it's refreshing your budget. We are in the month of September. To me, September is a huge month of transition, even if you're not going back to school per se for yourself. This is a transitional month, in my opinion. We're also, borderline the change of seasons, going into the fall season officially very soon. This is a definite time of transition and a definite time for change. You know what I think? I think, honestly, that we need to be open to change. Keep a receptive mind. Keep an open mind. Be a good listener. That does not mean that you're going to accept all the suggestions that you hear all over the place, but be willing to at least give it a listen. Open our minds, clear our minds, give the change possibility a listen. Extract from it what you think will help you as best as possible. And if nothing out of it applies to you, then just walk away and chalk it up to, oh, well, I learned something new. I heard about a new idea, and that makes you mentally richer for it, in my honest opinion. But then again, I am a former teacher, and I still will always love to help instill some little messages, little golden nuggets to help people. That's just what I do. Next, we must learn how to be flexible. Going to give you an incident that really happened. A wonderful creator, a content creator, tried a different format. People were so used to their on-camera presence every single day, multiple years. So that person, is willing to try something new every once in a while. And that person went on an audio format. Okay. So they decided they wanted to do an audio format. Okay. It was as if the world, and was beautiful. It was greatly done. Person had a perfect voice, clear diction, loud as all heck, clear as a bell. And yet that person's audience was like, I read through the comments, it was like, oh my gosh, you thought like the world turned over, because some of the people could not be receptive to that minor change, that of the possibility that the person that they're so used to every day of their life being in front of the camera, just maybe turning off the camera and delivering a message. And I said to myself, wow, honestly, what's my opinion of that kind of reaction? I think that's just ridiculous. I don't care if I lose subscribers if I say that. I think that's a very non-flexible, silly way to act. I think we should always be flexible. When people aren't flexible, they get mentally old. It's a sure sign of getting old and set in your ways when you're not flexible. Flexible. Okay. But what does all this have to do with savings? A lot. A lot. And I'll tell you why in a second. We need to be creative as we are needing to be open to change and open to flexibility. Okay. Open to change, open to flexibility, and to become creative. We can become creative in our savings in the method of how we save. And I'm going to get specifically about a video that I recently viewed. It actually aired on another from another channel that I'm going to highly recommend. Highly, highly, highly recommend. And it was ironic because the channel's video was geared for September 12th of 2021. And here we are, like September 12th, 2022. So I'm purposely airing this show on this date. You got to see this. This person has a great way to do a savings challenge that I know my folks will love and appreciate. And you know what I really, really appreciate about my viewers? In general, you are flexible. You've watched, you've listened to audio shows of mine. You've viewed, on camera shows. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being flexible. Thank you for being creative. Okay. And you're going to find, a very, very interesting video about this. Now, I'm going to announce the name of that channel. Probably a ton of you probably already are subscribed, but I'm going to assume there are also a bunch of people who never heard of it yet. Okay. I have to say before I mention the name, this channel is always uplifting. Every time I watch a video from that channel, I walk away feeling happy. I walk away feeling better because not only did I learn something, but the channel itself just makes you feel so inspired and so good. Ta-da! I'm going to give you the name finally. Check out this channel, Journey with the Hintons. I'm going to include a couple of their very inspiring videos, including, of course, the one with that specific savings challenge. This is interesting because it involves cash and it involves envelopes, but there is an interesting twist and an interesting method, okay? Because the channel does mention that there's about 100 days to Christmas from this date today. And I absolutely know that you will get some value from it. Now, let's go back on to another thing that we really need to do. Do one thing, just one activity, a little differently each day. Years ago, I'm going to mention this. I had a cleaning, house cleaning business years ago. Always on the hustle, always, trying my best doing some sort of business. And it worked out for a little while there. And I needed flexible hours because my daughter was young and I wanted to be, the person that watched my daughter type thing. One day a week, I would send her to a babysitter, just so I could get my own personal stuff organized and so on and so forth. And, also a mental break. It's a very important thing to do. But for the most part, my daughter was always with me everywhere. And so I started this, cleaning business. And one of my clients was a regular client. I had 4, okay? And one of my clients, she was the sweetest thing, but she had this thing really wrapped up so well. She was a frugal person. Yeah, imagine that. A frugal person that paid a housekeeper, a house cleaner service rather. That's wonderful. Because she felt that her time was important because she went on to do other things during the day because time is money and she just didn't want to be bothered with all that stuff. So my daughter was with me, and every single time we went there, she was so kind to even provide lunch, which was really kind. I always, took my own lunch, our lunch, etc. And but what she did was she had predictably the same lunch for 2 years. Imagine she had the same lunch for 2 years. I said to myself, well, I could always bring something of my own and, say, oh, no, thank you. But if I was in the mood for that, she had She had this like plastic container. It was really more like a munching session, if you will, like a bunch of different cream cheeses, couple of bagels. It was all good. It was good food, fresh. Got it fresh from her local grocery store, which was only about a block or two from her house. So everything was fresh, but it was the exact same formatted lunch every time we were there. It was organized, it was there. And I'm so appreciative that she was so kind to even think of us that way. But like, if you want a little change, so I, made sure I had different stuff for our lunch. I never expect anyone to have anything for me when I was, in that business ever. So just be there and let me do my work and thank you for paying me. That was my attitude. And I said to myself, does this person ever eat anything differently? But for that person, for whatever the reason, they were okay with that. I say to myself, well, maybe, little change is good. So I highly recommend to do at least one activity or one thing differently. And that's what I did for you today. You were expecting, the regular listeners, the ones who come here all the time, and I love you for it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate every single one of you. You were expecting when you slam down the play button that you're going to see the little circle with my voice coming out. And there is nothing wrong with audio shows. I love my audio shows. But I wanted to just show and prove a point. Do one thing a little differently. It just changes your whole outlook on everything, doesn't it? It's just like an amazing thing. So I'm leaving you with this. Do something differently. Yes, it helps with by being open to change is very important. By being flexible, keeping your, like receptive to try and, like flexible muscles type thing. Be creative. Maybe you can't be creative on your own for a minute, but you're inspired by others' creativity and you go along with it, e.g., the video that I'm going to attach, and do just one thing differently every day. Ask yourself, do I do something almost every single day, like every single day, that maybe just for this day, not every day, maybe just for this day. I always go back to the story of when you're walking along your block, along the same route every day. You're on your side of the street. You're looking at the same things across the street over and over, sort of like you memorize every inch of the blocks or wherever you're walking. You just like sort of memorize it. But you could change that in a moment's notice. How? Crossing the street. You cross the street and your point of view is absolutely, completely different. Well, I hope you had fun with this slight change today. Who knows? Maybe I'll come back in the future on camera in the morning like this every once in a while. Hey, listen, thank you so much for being here, and I really do appreciate you. But as always, well, I kind of do have something I'd like to ask you to do. What is that? Have an amazing, fantastic day. Take good care. Bye bye.